So what made you decide to become a PA?
I always knew that I wanted to be in medicine somehow, and so in my high school years there was a program for students who were academically doing well enough that the school would pay for some college education. So I became a nurse in high school, and I was working as a nurse at a 2-year nurse at the age of 16 in a nursing. I started in a nursing home, and then I moved into internal medicine. So I always knew that, the medical realm was for me. That was never a question, but it was a question of where in that medical realm do I want to be. I knew pretty much right away that a physician was not for me. I felt like that role is so independent that it was scary. The other thing is that I knew that I didn't want my work to take over my life. I wanted to enjoy my work, but I also wanted time to enjoy outside of work. And I felt like a lot of physicians that I knew, anecdotally, had a very difficult time with that. And even at the time, back in, 20 years ago, there was still evidence showing that physicians have higher suicide rates, high depression rates, and struggled within the amount of workload that was happening, and lots of things were changing. So I knew I didn't want to be that person. So then it came down to nurse practitioner or PA. And I could have gone the nurse practitioner route. I certainly was kind of already on that track. But what made me decide a PA over an NP in the U.S., mind you, this is in the U.S., is that I wanted to understand. So the nursing route took this really empathic, whole person perspective, which is a beautiful thing, and we certainly can't lose that. That's important for everyone in the system. But the piece that I really wanted was the research piece and the science piece. So that's how I ended up deciding as a PA, because the prerequisites really fell in that category. But to fulfill the empathic side of myself, I also minored in medical ethics. So I majored in biology and chemistry and minored in medical ethics, and spent quite a bit of time on my thesis of ethics because it fulfilled that nursing piece of me that was maybe missing. So I was able to get all the details of the research as well as the biochemistry of what was happening in the body. And that's really how I decided. I even got to do some research in undergrad. That was my first time being published. Was I 20? I think I was about 20 years old. My first publication had nothing to do with medicine. It was on hermaphroditic snail activity and how they decide who becomes the male and who acts as the female during copulation. So that was my very first exposure to research. I traveled the U.S. presenting my research, and it was really an interesting, fun experience in life, and it continued. I guess it kind of connects me to now because I'm still very involved in research today, but it fulfilled that need of my comprehension and research piece. So PA school it was.